The strategy of the great work. There have been at least 5 mass extinctions in the history of life, and 4 in the last 3.5 billion years, in which many species have disappeared in a relatively short period of geological time. The most recent of these, the Cretaceous Tertiary extinction event 65 million years ago, is best known for having wiped out the dinosaurs. The classical Big 5 mass extinctions are the Ordovician 440 million years ago and Devonian 365 million, each wiped out about 80 to 85% of species. The Triassic 210 million years ago and Cretaceous 65 million, each wiped out about 70 to 75% of species. But the Permian extinction of about 245 million years ago wiped out 95% of animals known from the fossil record. And all were relatively quick, well planned and orderly, and achieved using climate change, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes and tectonic plate movements, disease, and meteors and other sorts of space events, for example solar flares. Wikipedia. Prior to the dispersion of humans across the Earth, extinction generally occurred at a continuous low rate, mass extinctions being relatively rare events. Starting approximately 100,000 years ago, however, and coinciding with an increase in the numbers and range of humans, species extinctions have increased to an unprecedented rate, and this period has become known as the Holocene extinction event. Indeed, seen dispassionately, it is almost as if our destructive nature is being used to cause the extinctions, and we will go with all the others. Aristotle, 12th chapter, Meteorics. The distribution of land and sea in particular regions does not endure through all time, but it becomes sea in those parts where it was land, and again it becomes land where it was sea. And there is reason for thinking that these changes take place according to a certain system and within a certain period, indicating there is plan, purpose and goal in the great work, with each major change being executed via an underlying strategy. So, using all the evidence collected by scientists over the years, what might that strategy be? First, let us look at what strategy means. What is meant by the word strategy? A strategy is the means by which an end is to be achieved, the approach chosen to reach an end goal, an objective. For any objective, there are always a number of strategies that could be adopted, and success or failure depends very often on the choice of strategy. Let me provide a frivolous but simple example. Suppose my objective is to get a gold medal in swimming at the next Olympics. I now have to decide how I am going to do this. One strategy might be to get myself to the Olympics and swim in the race like I have never swum before, literally. But as I am 70 years old, unfit, overweight, deaf and with a heart condition, this would not be a viable strategy, because even if I got to swim, I wouldn't hear the starting gun. Looking at the wording, get a gold medal, I might decide my only hope was to steal it. This might then be viable, but just a dash risky. So strategies are usually chosen based on their viability or feasibility and their chances of succeeding. And projects have been abandoned simply because no feasible strategy could be found. But though we have no idea what the end goal of the great work is, we do have a lot of clues about the approach, the strategy being taken. The Cosmic Egg. The cosmic egg is the principal building block, metaphysically speaking, upon which all else is based. There is some reason to believe, however, that the entire universe is built using this as its foundation. Thus, strategically, it is the basis of all creation in all galaxies, solar systems, etc. The video for it is called simply The Symbolism of the Cosmic Egg, although strictly speaking it is both a concept and a symbol. Aggregation. Aggregation is the grouping together of first atoms and then the aggregate structures themselves into successively larger and larger tree structures, with the objective of achieving new and higher levels of functionality. It is such a key strategy that we have produced 3 videos to help explain it: aggregation, the conscious aggregate, and types of aggregation. Contrast. Contrast provides the mechanism of perception. Contrasting colours, contrasting sizes, contrasting sensations, contrasting tastes, and so on. Any living being cannot appreciate, for example, what no pain is unless it has experienced pain. It cannot know happiness unless it has known sadness. It will not know cold unless it has experienced hot. The video for this is called The Concept of Contrast. Diversity. Whilst humanity seems hell-bent on creating a world of uniformity and conformity, even to the extent of figuratively bashing every square peg until bruised and bleeding it goes into that square hole, the strategy is totally opposite. Everything is unique. Every leaf, every tree, every person, every animal, every blade of grass, every insect, every flower. Diversity provides joy, not just resilience. Huge diversity brings a continual sense of wonder and surprise. Diversity is a celebration of creation. Every face is different, every character, every personality. Everything has been made to be unique. The emotion that should be felt is one of pure happiness at this wonderland of beauty. And although global planners try to squash this the whole time, they never succeed. We personalise our cars, our houses, our phones. We decorate our bodies. We cannot stand the monotony of sameness. And yet, in our perversity, we let the forces of darkness impose uniformity on us. Manufacturers, builders, architects, the politically motivated. They look for sameness of thought. We are constantly bombarded by others wishing to make us like them. Why? Perhaps they are so insecure that they believe conformity and the elimination of diversity gives them control. By controlling others, they can control their own lives and remove fear. But when Baron Rothschild married Evelina in 1865, both she and their child died in childbirth a year later. Furthermore, James de Rothschild, 1878 to 1957, died childless. The Rothschild Foundation now manages Waddesdon, their once home, on behalf of the National Trust, and we, the meek and powerless, are able to enjoy the house without the burden of worrying about its upkeep. As such, tragedy stalks even those who believe they are in control. Reuse of forms and functions. Another key part of the strategy has been to reuse parts. Anything from small parts like the molecule or cell to much larger assemblies. But it has been exceptionally novel reuse, as diversity has never been sacrificed. By reusing parts, like eyes, some major new designs have been possible, bringing with them the opportunity for a considerable increase in function. The first reusable component was the atom, and from only a small number of types of atom, a myriad of forms have resulted. But perhaps the most imaginative and awe-inspiring reuse has been in the part of creation we never see, but which we experience every day because we live it: the archetypes. See our video on archetypes. The functions, function sequences or scripts, stories and myths, and types of character, roles, that go with all the players in the theatre of life. See our theatre video. Competition. Competition and predation appears to have once been a major plank in the strategy of the great work. We can see this from observation even now. All of life on Earth competes for space and for resources. Why is competition and predation needed? What does it achieve? Undoubtedly, in the early stages, it tested every design for viability. It removed the weak and preserved the overall health of any species. But it has also tended to favour prolific breeders and consumers who outbreed their predators and deplete resources, even to the point of threatening their own survival. And in humans we have a terrible combination: prolific breeders, predators of anything that appears to be competition, including their own kind, and a consumption of resources in excess of need. But it would seem that mind, function, has become a greater priority, and that cooperation is being favoured far more than competition. Indeed, we might be witnessing a major turning point in the strategy, which human pioneers are starting to put into practice. Refurbish, repair, reuse, recycle, repurpose. Where mind and the development of the mind is now the priority, and the meek really will inherit the earth because they cooperate and have better ideas. And we explore this possibility in the video Types of Aggregates. Matthew 5, Authorized King James Version. And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain, and when he was set, his disciples came unto him, and he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye, when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely, for my sake. Rejoice, and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on an hill cannot be hid. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven.